Hi everyone, this is Penguin Trades, and this is a review for the ES and NQ futures for September 4th. Starting off, this is our overnight high, this is our overnight low down here. We're going through the ES first, and then we'll hop over to the NQ after. So I started trading right around here at 8 Central Time. We were pushing off the overnight high. This uptrend has a break, and we can expect price to attempt a new high. Now, at this point here, we already have our first attempt. It still hasn't made a new high. It could still we could still get a second leg. What I would like to see is 2 legs down retesting this range high, but obviously we don't get that here. But considering we already have our first leg up, if we just get 2 legs back right there, then we can look to get long on the second attempt at a new high. But it doesn't happen. We don't get an entry. It just pushes on up. You can see uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, and then this, of course, launches us into this whole trend right here. And so as we push up, if we get a couple attempts down, we can look for a long to continue higher, especially with this channel in play if we get something off the key entry point, which would bring us to here. However, price just pushed out of the overnight high and faded back in, and you're entering directly into it. So that makes it so you can't take that long safely there. It does end up working. We push out, we break out of the overnight high. Now, when you break out, you want to see 2 attempts to fade before buying the breakout. So like here, we only have 1 attempt to fade. Here we get a small second entry, but it's really just going sideways. It's not like a clear 2-legged move down retesting. So I don't like that there, but it pushes on up a little bit before suddenly plummeting. So at this point here, this whole thing is one uptrend. Even though, you can see that there's a push up here, a break, and then it goes into this channel right here. Starting from the low, we can clearly see on a bigger picture that this is one move on a bigger picture. So it pushes up to the overnight high. After it breaks out, sharp push back in, attempting to reverse, but the reversal doesn't last. If we push lower here, get a couple of legs up, so that would be uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, holding below, then yeah, we could easily get a short, basically get a failure entry due to the uptrend trying to play out. But what ends up happening is it pushes right back out of the overnight high. We get a break from that, and we get a second leg up. So we have uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, successfully made a new high at the overnight high. At this point, a bullish imbalance is starting to form because it's unable to reverse to the other side. It's just holding to the long side here. And so we can still get a reversal, but this is the start of a bullish imbalance. And then here we get 2 attempts to fade. This is right after that new high. Now, we successfully fade back in. We are pushing back in, and then as soon as it starts, as soon as this measured move is met, it starts pushing back out, really struggling to push out. When it closes above here, I still don't like that because, even though this measured move was just met, it did just get extremely choppy, and then it just barely pushed above there. So I don't really view that as a clear hold above the overnight high. But anyway, we push on up here. Now this is a higher low. It's bigger picture higher low. It might be harder to spot. But as you can see here, we're forming a bullish imbalance. Price is unable to reverse. The uptrend just played out, and then even when the uptrend played out, price still is unable to reverse. It's pushing back above, and then here, as you can see, we have this trend line going up. And then I like it after this bar right here, because this bar is closing on its high. It's a clear bullish bar. Clearly, this higher low is, it's reacting bullish to the overnight high right after that measured move off the trend line, so that's why I like going long right there. So anyway, we push on up here, pushes past this right here. Notice that right at this measured move, you can if you drag that over, it starts to get a little bit reactive there. Doesn't reverse or anything, but it just clearly gets choppy because of, the measured move being right there. But it ends up pushing on higher, and then we reach this bigger measured move. So these 2 big legs up. As soon as this measured move is met, price immediately gets a reaction, pushes a little bit higher. Obviously, as you can see, we're off this channel high right here at the same time. So this is a great place to get a reversal pattern. Even though this bullish imbalance has formed, this big uptrend has just played out, not only with a break in a new high, it's also measured. So if we get a clear reversal pattern, we can absolutely look to take a short. And yes, even though we're in this uptrend right here, you just need room to the other side, which of course with this, in this case here, we would have plenty of room. But it doesn't form a good reversal pattern, so there's nothing to take on the way down here. To the tick right here, you have first entry long, second entry long, and you can look for the failure, but this is just all in a spike down. You want to see a push down and then 2 legs back, not these little ticks higher on a sharp move down. You don't know that it's going to continue down from there. So anyway, we push on lower here, retest the overnight high. So now we have uptrend, and then we're getting this little break right here. As soon as it breaks, it's starting to push back up, and then after these couple attempts higher here, so uptrend, break, and then first attempt higher, second attempt higher, you can view this as the failure, but what it's really making on a bigger picture is just a bigger picture break. So when a trend gets a break, you have to understand that when it attempts to make a new high, the attempts have to be relative in size, and you have to expect price action to get bigger picture in real time. So I'm going to go through this area one more time really quick. So uptrend, break right here, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. So you have your 2 attempts at a new high, and then after that second attempt, price fails, you get the reversal down. Now, obviously, with the size of this uptrend, this break is pretty small. These 2 attempts at a new high, it all just looks like it's part of the break right here. And that's because on a bigger picture, it is. You have your 2 attempts. This reversal, it fails to keep going down, so it fails to reverse, which means all it's doing is forming a bigger picture break before the larger attempt at a new high. And so what you have here is uptrend, so this whole uptrend, break, and then first attempt at a new high right here, and then you want to look to get in on the second attempt at a new high, which we just don't get a clear entry for. We push down here, first entry, it retests this, overnight high, and here we actually push back below. We're getting these bearish bars closing back below the overnight high, and then, these bars struggling to get above the EMA right there, and then another red bar, and then it barely closes back above. So it's really just not ideal. On the other side of the count, you can view it as a failed second entry. Sure, first entry short, second entry short failure, but obviously it's getting lower highs every time. It's struggling to get above the EMA. What I'd like to see is a push up, 2 clear legs down, holding above, not 2 legs down that are really struggling to get back above the EMA. It had a quite, also this push down took back so much of this push up right here, which usually you don't see on a good failed second entry. So anyway, now here with this attempt at a new high, notice that from the break of it, so uptrend, break, first attempt higher, and then this is the break from that first attempt higher, it's already making a new low. It's not pushing up from here. If it had pushed up from here, then yeah, you could just view it as your 2 attempts at a new high. However, since it's pushing past this low right here, now what it's forming is just a bigger picture 2-legged break. So you have this leg down here. Price can easily make this 2-legged break before looking to make a new high. And so, considering it's pushing below that low, not taking off yet, that's likely what's happening. So there'd be no problem looking for shorts on the way down to this, because it's not like it's just this uptrend that's in play. Yes, the uptrend is in play. However, so is this overnight high. When you fade back down, you can expect price to try to reach the lows. So that's bearish competing against this bullish uptrend. So you just have to stick with what price is doing in the moment. The bulls want to make a new high for this uptrend. You got the break. They want to make a new high. The bears want to keep fading this overnight high, and they want to push it down to the overnight lows. So if price is holding below, and say you push lower, get a couple legs back, get a bearish reaction, then you can look to continue down because we have this measured move in play. And again, the range rules, they say when you come off one side, price wants to reach the other side. So anyway, however, if price does spike back up here, push above the EMA, we are at this double bottom area right here. It could push up from here. Then absolutely, you would immediately want to switch gears back into looking for a new high. You just got to stick with what price gives you. You can't just trade based on what you want to see. You have to stick with what the market's giving you. So if you keep on going lower here, you want to look for shorts. If you push back above here, you want to look for longs. So anyway, that's probably going to do it for the ES here. I'm just going to hop over to the NQ now and go over that. Now, again, overnight high up here, overnight low down here. This is 8 o'clock right here. So starting off, notice that slightly from the previous session here, we clearly have this one big spike down. So this is all one downtrend. And here you get this break, first attempt lower. This is another leg in the break, so it's a 2-legged break. So downtrend, 2-legged break, and then first attempt lower, second attempt lower, which is where this failure entry occurs. So again, overnight low is pretty clear right here. Started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here. So as we're pushing up here, we just met this measured move, sharp push down, reaction off the overnight low, and now we're getting another break. However, we can still get a second leg down from here. And like I said, downtrend from here. We get a two-legged break. This is our first attempt lower. We can get in on the second attempt at a new low. However, price doesn't give us an entry for that. There's this uptrend line sloping up here. It's more clear after you start to get this reaction from this bar here, but you have downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. So not only is this the second attempt lower right here for this larger downtrend, again, downtrend, two-legged break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. On a smaller picture, from this new high right here, you have downtrend, this two-legged break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. So it's perfectly confluent all the way through. You're holding off this trend line right here. You're coming off the overnight high, and you have this up measured move still in play. Entering on this bar here out of the STT, very bullish reaction, great looking trade right there. Now after we push up here, we have these two legs up, price attempts to reverse on down, but unsuccessfully it ends up holding above the EMA and reaching the other side of this range right here, nearly within a couple ticks. And so we push on up here. Notice that we have this push down, we make a new high, another push down, so it's really just nothing clear in this area to take. Push up again, first push down, second push down, making a double top right here, and then it drops on lower. And so unfortunately just nothing to take in this area. There's no way to get in on this huge drop down. There's nothing clear to take here. It's really just going sideways before a very sudden drop. So we reach the overnight low, price immediately spikes back up. Now if we push up here and we get two attempts down, so if we got a second leg down like this, then what we'd have is from the low, first entry short, second entry short, and then we can look for the failure here. But that would be confluent with this downtrend, because this downtrend would have its break right here, and then your first attempt lower and second attempt lower. So the downtrend would have its two attempts, which means you could look to get in on the failure, and it would be obviously on the other side of the count, a failed second entry. So that's what I would have liked to see there, but it ended up just pushing on higher from this higher low, which obviously it's not a good higher low. It's not even above the EMA. So we push on up here. These two legs, they're not quite measured. They're a couple points short of being measured, as you can see right here. Now, right here, notice we did get a red reaction, a red bar right off of the overnight high right here with these two legs up. However, with these two spikes, they were extremely bullish, pushing straight from the overnight low, and even though we reached the overnight high right here and we're getting a red bar, the measured move is still in play. It could easily, tick lower, attempt to reach it right there. I would just want to see an actual push lower here and then get a lower high or a reversal pattern. Now this uptrend is still in play. Like I mentioned in the ES part, if you get a reversal pattern with room to the other side, then you can take it. But in this case here, you would not have room for that, obviously. It's just way too thin of a channel. And I wouldn't just take it because you got two legs up off the, pushing up to the overnight high and you get a red reaction. Very commonly, it'll tick lower, push on up here to kind of chop around the area, and then offer something like a reversal pattern below. And so anyway, we push on lower here. Notice we get these two legs down. So this is a two-legged break because clearly you have a channel right here. These legs are pushing out. We have a two-legged move. It doesn't quite reach the measured move, but it starts pushing up after that second leg down. And I don't like going long here because it's not off of any clear support. And again, the measured move is still in play, so it could just tick higher and push down and try to reach it down here for a long. But, because it could easily just tick higher, push down here, and go right to where you thought it was. So you need it to be off of support. You can't just take it off of nothing into the EMA. That's really just a bad idea. It starts to get choppy here. Even when you push above the EMA, you're still not off of any support, so it doesn't matter. So we push on up here, uptrend, break, push up to a new high. It's considered played out at this point. Now we're breaking out of the overnight high. When you break out of the overnight high, you can expect price to attempt to fade. You want to see two attempts to fade before buying the breakout. And as we push up, we just get these first entries, first entry, first entry. Then finally here, we get a sharper attempt down, but it's still just one leg. Now with that body right here, some might view this as a two-legged move because these bodies are higher than that, but it's just so close. It's very borderline. It's basically just going sideways and then one sharp push down from a new high, straight below the EMA. It's not holding, above the EMA very well. It is holding off of this wider trend line, but it's just a first entry. So I don't think it's worth taking. And in this case here, as you can see, it pushes on up, but it doesn't mean it's going to work out like that next time. I want to see a clear two-legged move, not an iffy one with these bodies right here. I'd really just view this as a spike up, going a bit sideways, and then one push down. You know, just the fact that it got so far below the EMA with no problem is already not a good sign. So that's why I want to see two clear legs down. But it does end up holding here. We push on up, we go past that measured move, and then we get a break. So uptrend, break. When an uptrend gets a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new high. And so as we push lower here, if we get 2 attempts at a new high, we can get in on a short. Because with an uptrend, with a break, 2 attempts at a new high, at a reversal area, the uptrend would be considered played out due to the 2 attempts. And so then, let me just draw this out right here. So say we got something like this. Uptrend gets a break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. This is where you want to look for the failure, and on the other side of the count, it's just a failed second entry. First entry long, second entry long, failure. And so that's what I would want to see here, but in this case, it doesn't happen. You know, kind of like on the ES, we just get this thin failed second entry, you know, to the tick right here it is, first entry long, second entry long, failure, but that's just a small to the tick. I want to see a clear separation of the legs. I don't want to see it pushing down the whole time. You want to see 2 clear legs back, not just to the tick, failed second entry that's pushing along down the entire time, because you don't know that it's going to drop down from there. So anyway, we just push on lower. We go into this downtrend right here. Small break, push to a new low. That pushes us into this reversal attempt. So downtrend, break, new low, reversal, and then this reversal failed. And then since it starts pushing back lower here, showing that the reversal is failing, really what this reversal is the bigger picture break, because this break from this downtrend is so small. You know, the whole break to new low right here, it's just going right along with it. Clearly, you just zoom out a bit, you can see this is all one leg down, and this is your break, and this is your push down to a new low. So downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. It did make a new low right there, but you don't want to just go long right there because it's chopping up and down between the overnight high. You know, it's just in a bad area. It's not clearly holding above, and so unfortunately, I just don't like taking anything here. So anyway, I did skip that. We push on up here. It was getting a bit sideways there too anyway. Continue on up, large push up. Now what you have here, now remember how I was saying that we have this uptrend break, and then this is our first attempt at a new high. Maybe I didn't mention that, but that's what it is. Uptrend, break, and then your first attempt higher, and then you want to look for your second attempt higher. But you did make this new low / double bottom. It is very tricky to tell here in a range like this, but either way, it is basically a reset. And with this push up right here, it's much more significant than this push up. It's clear to see that this is all part of the break. So downtrend, break, new low. This is part of the break on a bigger picture for this uptrend. You have uptrend, break, and then this is your first attempt at a new high on a bigger picture. So with these 2 legs back here, it's still possible to get in on that second attempt at a new high. Let me just draw this out really quick. So, oh, didn't mean to copy that. Here we go. So uptrend, break, first leg at a new high. We're just now meeting this down measured move. We can very easily push up into a second leg at a new high. So we'll see how price reacts. What I'd like to see is a push above and then 2 legs back, making a failed second entry. Considering we just held off the overnight high, we're pushing up to a new high. Everything's looking bullish at this point. A failed second entry holding above the EMA would definitely be our best bet for a long in this area. So I really hope that happens soon. I'm going to trade for a little bit longer before I stop. Right now it's 12:57 Central Time, and so anyway, probably just going to trade for 30 more minutes. Maybe not that long, but we'll see. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out in some way, and thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next. Actually, before I end this video, I just want to mention this because, so you see this uptrend here. Let me draw this right here. So this whole uptrend on a bigger picture is obviously one leg, even though you have all these multiple legs. Now, here, you're getting this 2-legged break. So uptrend, break, first attempt higher, and then yeah, you can get that second attempt higher. But if it keeps on pushing down and goes past this low, then you'll have to just view it as a two-legged break, and then you can get an even bigger picture to attempts at a new high. So you just got to understand how price action gets bigger picture. I understand how this can be confusing because a lot of times people will just they'll just learn, chart patterns, and they'll just see it, just from glancing at the chart, but they don't combine structures together. They don't combine legs and turn them into one. Like you see two legs there. Really, that's one leg on a bigger picture. This is a break. There's your second leg, but on a bigger picture, it's all one leg. So you just got to learn how to spot it in real time and learn how to combine these legs and these structures together. And then obviously understanding the difference between, a two-legged break and a break with two attempts at a new high. And I understand that two-legged breaks can be confusing because price doesn't always make two-legged breaks. Sometimes you'll just get one leg down and two legs up to a new high, which is what could happen here if it continues. But as soon as it pushes past this low, it's just a two-legged break at that point. And then you have to look for a brand new set of two legs to a new high. So I hope that's clear. I'm just going to draw this out because I do understand how it can be confusing for new people. Sometimes in the past, I wouldn't really draw as much visual stuff, and then people would tell me, hey, we don't understand it as well as you, because I would just forget, you know what I mean? Because when I look at the chart, it's pretty clear to me, and so sometimes I'll just forget that I need to go a little bit deeper into explanations for others. But yeah, if this continues on down and makes a full two-legged break, then what I'd like to see is a push back above and another big picture failed second entry to continue higher. But yeah, I kind of wish there was more trades today. I mean, obviously, who doesn't wish for more trades no matter how many? But, just this one right here on the NQ, and I'm going to hop over to the ES, just this one here. Some days are just like that. It's not bad or anything. It's still, a great deal of points. It's still great and everything. But obviously, multiple trades in a day is always nice. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out in some way, and thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.